And members of our cast. Playing John Adams is Warren J. Madden. Ben Franklin is Scott Adams. Tom Jefferson is Paul Houck. Richard Henry Lee is Jim Priestley. Abigail Adams is Janice Codaspoti. Martha Jefferson is Karen Bezad. Roger Sherman in the Courier is Rob Campbell. Robert Livingston, Scott Bezad. Mr. Thompson, the Congressional Secretary, is Joe Lord. Edward Rutledge is Alan Powers. Mr. McNair, the custodian, is Ronald Benner. The Leather Apron, Brian Rodruck. The Member of Congress is Alan Alejandro. And our narrator in playing John Hancock is Michael Fry. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed the performance.
It was a very warm and humid day in May 1776. It was a very warm and humid day in May 1776 when the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia convened to discuss matters relevant to the colonies, chief among which was the question of independence. Chief proponent for independence was the fiery little man from Massachusetts, John Adams. For months, Congress had refused to discuss or sometimes even listen to his frequent tirades on the matter. Dejectedly, John would often retreat from the chamber seeking solitude in order to reflect upon his problems with Congress. It was during these times that John's mind would carry him back to his home in Braintree and his beloved wife, who often spoke to him in his dreams. Let's take a look at John and the Continental Congress in Philadelphia on May 8th, 1776.
I've come to the conclusion that one useless man is called a disgrace, that two are called a law firm, and that three or more become a Congress. And by God, I have had this Congress. For 10 years, King George and his Parliament have gulled, cullied, and diddled these colonies with their illegal taxes. Stamp Acts, Townsend Acts, Sugar Acts, Tea Acts. And when we dared stand up like men, they have stopped our trade, seized our ships, blockaded our ports, burned our towns, and spilled our blood. And still this Congress refuses to grant any of my proposals on independence, even so much as the courtesy of open debate. Good God, what in hell are they waiting for? To have John Adams to abuse, for no sane man would tolerate it. For 1 solid year, they have been sitting there. For 1 year, doing nothing. I do believe you've laid a curse on North America. A curse that we here now rehearse in Philadelphia. A second flood, a simple famine, plagues of locusts everywhere. Or a cataclysmic earthquake, I'd accept from some despair. But no, you sent us Congress. Good God, sir, was that fair? I say this with humility in Philadelphia, where your responsibility in Philadelphia. If you don't want to see us hanging on some far-off British hill, you don't want the voice of independency forever still, then God, sir, get thee to it, for never will. You see, we piddle, twiddle, and resolve. Not one damn thing do we solve. Piddle, twiddle, and resolve. Nothing's ever solved in foul-feeded, fuming, foggy, filthy Philadelphia. Abigail, I have such a desire to knock heads together.
I know, my dearest, I know, but that's because you make everything so complicated. It's all quite simple, really. Just tell the Congress to declare independency. Then sign your name, get out of there, and hurry home to me. Our children all have dysentery. Little Tom keeps turning blue. Little Abby has the measles, and I'm coming down with flu. They say we may get smallpox.
Madam, what else is new? Abigail, in my last letter I wrote you that the king had collected 12,000 German mercenaries to send against us. I asked you to organize ladies to make saltpeter for gunpowder. Have you done as I asked?
No, John, I have not.
And why have you not?
Because you neglected to tell us how saltpeter is made.
I treated potassium chloride with sodium nitrate, of course.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, will it be done then?
I'm afraid we have a more urgent problem, John.
More urgent, madam.
There's one thing every woman's missed in Massachusetts Bay. Don't smirk at me, you egotist pay. Heed to what I say. We've been from Framingham to Boston, and we cannot find a pin. Don't you know there is a war on sage tradesmen with a grin? Well, we will not make saltpeter until you send us pins.
Pins, madam. Saltpeter.
Pins.
Saltpeter.
Pins.
Peter.
Pin.
Peter.
Pin.
Peter.
Pin. Pin.
Saltpeter. Peter.
Pin.
Done, madam. Done.
Done, John. Hurry home, John.
As soon as I'm able.
Don't stop writing. It's all I have.
Every day, my dearest friend.
Till then.
Till then, I am as I ever was and ever shall be. Yours, 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 Saltpeter John.
Here, Abigail.
For God's sake, John, sit down.
Benjamin Franklin, a close friend of Adams and fellow congressman, was also in favor of independence. He was well aware of John's problems with Congress and the problems Congress had with John. Very much the diplomat, Ben used one of his favorite ploys to convince John to have another colony other than Massachusetts propose independence in Congress.
John, why don't you give it up? No one listens to you. You're obnoxious and disliked.
I'm not promoting John Adams, I'm promoting independence.
Evidently, they cannot help connecting the two.
What are you getting at?
Oh, let someone else in Congress propose.
Never! Why? Who did you have in mind?
Oh, I really don't know. I haven't given it much thought.
Is that for me, Benji?
Never!
Hello, Johnny.
Richard?
Richard, John and I need some advice.
Well, if it's mine to give, it's yours. You know that, Benji.
Thank you, Richard. Now, it seems the cause that we promote here in Congress has come to a complete standstill. Why do you suppose that is?
Simple. Johnny here's obnoxious in this life.
Yes, that's true. Well, I wonder what the solution is.
Get someone else in Congress to propose.
Richard, that's brilliant. Wasn't that brilliant, John?
Brilliant.
Now, let's see. The question remains, who can that person be? It must be someone from a delegation publicly committed to supporting independence. And so far, only Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Delaware have declared our way.
And Virginia, Benji. Don't forget Virginia.
Oh, I haven't, Richard. How could I? But strictly speaking, even though Virginia's views on independence are well known, your legislature down in Williamsburg has never formally authorized you to support that cause. Now, if we could think of a Virginian with enough influence to go down there to the House of Burgesses...
Damn me if I haven't thought of one.
Who?
Me.
Why didn't I think of that?
I'll leave tonight. Why, hell, I'll leave right now if you like. I'll just stop off at Stratford long enough to refresh the missus, and then straight to the matter. Virginia, the land that gave us our glorious commander-in-chief, George Washington. Well, now give the Congress proposal on independency. When Virginia proposes, the South is bound to follow. Where the South goes, the middle colonies go. Gentlemen, a salute to the mother of American independency, Virginia.
Incredible. We're free and he hasn't even left yet. What makes you so sure that you can do it?
My name is Richard Henry Lee, Virginia is my home. My name is Richard Henry Lee, Virginia is my home. And may my home inspire to you, if I can live up to you, a resolution on independency. For I am ever be the first family in the sovereign colony of Virginia. Yes, the FFB, the oldest family in the oldest colony in America. And may the British burn my land if I can't look to your hand the resolution on independence. Is everybody's God.
Amen.
What if that God in heaven is everybody's God? But I tell you, John, with pride, God needs to live on the side of the least of Virginia. You see, it's herely and verily, everywhere I live, herely and verily, everywhere I live. Look out, there's Arthur Lee and Bobby Lee and Geraldine Horse Harry Lee. There's Jesse Lee and Willie Lee.
And Richard H.
That's me, and may my blood stop running blue if I can't deliver up to you a resolution on independency. Yes, sir, my God is herely, therely, everywhere I live, herely, therely. When we leave, immediately, herely, therely. When we return, shortly, herely, therely. And I come back triumphantly, herely, therely, everywhere I live.
June 7th still found Congress unwilling to be swayed one way or the other on independence. Upon the arrival of Lee with his resolution from Virginia, Congress was forced to address the issues of absolving allegiance to the British Crown and declaring the United Colonies as free and independent states. Attempts by the conservatives to postpone the question were narrowly defeated. Several days of debate followed, during which the leading conservative, John Dickinson, proposed that the vote in favor of independence must be a unanimous one. The actual vote itself came to be tied. And so the deciding vote fell to the congressional president, John Hancock. Very well, the vote is tied. The principles of independence have no greater advocate than its president in Congress. And that is why I must join those who vote for unanimity.
Good God, what are you doing, John?
Hear me out, John! Don't you see that any colony who opposes independence will be forced to fight on the side of England? That will be setting brother against brother. That our new nation will carry as its emblem the mark of Cain? I can see no other way. Either we walk together, or together we must stay where we are. Adams, at a loss on what to do, tried to think of a way out of that situation. To gain time, he moved for a postponement for the vote on the grounds that some sort of declaration was needed to explain the reasons for the separation, the aims and the goals of our potential new nation, and so on and so forth. Ditto, ditto, et cetera, et cetera. The vote again tied. President Hancock voted in favor of the postponement and appointed a committee to draft the Declaration of Independence. The members were Dr. Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, John Adams of Massachusetts, Roger Sherman of Connecticut, and Robert Livingston of New York. Richard Henry Lee had declined in order to serve as governor of Virginia, and at the suggestion of John Adams, Hancock appointed a very reluctant Thomas Jefferson.
All right, gentlemen, let's get on with it. Which one of us is going to write our Declaration of Independence?
Mr. Adams, I say you should write it. To your legal minds and brilliance we defer.
Is that so? Well, if I'm the one to do it, they'll run their quill pens through it. I'm obnoxious and disliked, you know that, sir.
Yes, I know.
So I say you should write it, Franklin, yes, you.
Hell no!
Yes, you, Dr. Franklin, you.
Mr. Adams, but Mr. Adams, the things I write are only light extemporaneous. I won't put politics on paper, it's a mania. So I refuse to use the pen, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, refuse to use the
Mr. Sherman, I say you should write it. You are never controversial, as it were.
That is true.
Whereas if I'm the one to do it, they'll run their quill pen through it. I'm obnoxious and disliked, you know that, sir.
Yes, I do.
So I say you should write it, Roger, yes, you.
Good heavens, no.
Yes, you, Roger Sherman, you.
Mr. Adams, I cannot write with any style or proper etiquette. I don't know a preposition from a predicate. I am just a simple cobbler from Connecticut. Connecticut, a simple cobbler he.
Mr. Livingston, maybe you should write it. You have many friends and you're a diplomat.
Oh, that word.
Whereas if I'm the one to do it, they'll run their quill pens through it.
He's obnoxious and disliked. Did you know that? I hadn't heard.
So I say you should write it, Robert, yes, you.
Not me, Johnny.
Yes, you, Robert Livingston, you.
Mr. Adams, dear Mr. Adams, I've been presented with a new son by the noble store.
Congratulations.
So I am going home to celebrate and pop a cork
Gonna do what?
with all the Livingstons to gather back in
Robert, the other son. Mr. Jefferson.
But Mr. Adams, I beg you. It's been 6 months since I've seen my wife.
And we solemnly declare that we shall preserve our liberties, being with one mind resolved to die free men rather than to live slaves. Thomas Jefferson, on the necessity of taking up arms, 1775, magnificent. Why, you write 10 times better than any man in Congress, including me. For a man of only 33 years, you possess a happy talent for composition and a remarkable felicity of expression. Now then, sir, will you be a patriot or a lover?
A lover.
No,
But I burned Mr. A.
so do I, Mr. J.
You?
You do? John. Who'd have thought it?
Mr. Jefferson, dear Mr. Jefferson, I'm only 41, I still have my virility. And I can romp through Cupid's grove with great agility. But life is more than sexual combustibility. Now you'll write it, Mr. J.
And who will make me Mr. A?
I.
You?
Yes.
How?
By physical force, if necessary. It's your duty, damn it! Your duty!
Mr. Adams. Damn you, Mr. Adams. You're obnoxious and dislike that cannot be denied. Once again you stand between me and my lovely bride. Oh, Mr. Adams, you were trying to get me to
The choice is yours, Mr. Jefferson. Do as you like with it.
A despondent Jefferson retreated to his room on High Street. For a solid week, he worked diligently, trying to compose his thoughts into a working constitution. His thoughts, feelings, reflecting everything, fell within the Congress. However, nothing would come to his mind, as it would be clouded by thoughts of Virginia and his new bride, Martha. Realizing how much depended on Tom's state of mind, Adams sent for Martha in hopes that her presence would help inspire Tom. In sending for Martha, John once again thought of his own wife and wondered how she fared.
How goes it with you, Abigail?
Not well, John. Not at all well. I live like a nun in a cloister solitary, so that I hate it. And you, John?
I live like a monk in an abbey. Ditto, ditto, I hate it.
Write to me with sentimental effusion. Let me revel in romantic illusion.
Do you still smell of vanilla and spring air? And is my favorite lover's villa still firm and
Come soon as you can to my cloister. I've forgotten the feel of your hand.
soon, madam, we shall walk through Cupid's grove together, and we'll fondly survey
The days dragged on and Congress busied itself with committee matters. Frequently, they were interrupted by a courier delivering dispatches from General Washington in the field. This was their only contact with the soldiers in battle. The numerous dispatches were bleak and did very little to promote the cause for independence.
This or any other century. He is a misfit, ignorant of hygiene, destructive, disorderly, and totally disrespectful of rank. Only this last is understandable, as there is an incredible reek of stupidity amongst the officers. The situation is most desperate at the New Jersey training ground in New Brunswick, where every able-bodied whore in the colonies has assembled. There are constant reports of drunkenness, desertion, foul language, naked bathing in the Raritan River, and an epidemic of the French disease. I've declared the town off limits to all military personnel, with the exception of officers. I beseech the Congress to dispatch the War Committee to this place in the hopes of restoring some of the order and discipline we need to survive. Your obedient, G. Washington.
The War Committee, consisting of John Adams, Ben Franklin, and Samuel Chase of Maryland, was dispatched to New Brunswick, and the Congress adjourned on June 22nd. Left alone in the chamber were Andrew McNair, the custodian, his helper, the leather apron, and a courier. Curious as to what was happening, McNair questioned the courier.
General, what's it like out there?
General, Lord, I ain't even a corporal.
I know, but the Army never makes anything right. So, how's the fighting going?
You probably know more than me.
Set it in here? Sweet Jesus, this is the last place to find out what's going on.
Our name is join up.
What are you talking about? You're sitting in Congress.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, you don't see them running out to get killed, do you? But they sure are great ones for sending others, I'll tell you that.
Did you see the fight?
Sure did. Seen my two best friends get shot dead on the very same day. Right on the village green it was, too. And when they didn't come home for supper, their moms went down the hill looking for them. Miss Lowell, she found Timothy right off. But Miss Pickett, she had to search near half the night. Because William gone and crawled off the green before he died. Mama, hey mama, come looking for me. I'm here in the meadow by the red maple tree. Mama, hey mama, look sharp, here I be. Hey, hey, mama, look sharp. Them soldiers, they fired 'em all, did we run? But then we turned round and the battle begun. Then I went under, Mama, am I done? Hey, hey, Mama, look sharp. My eyes are wide open, my face to the sky. Is that you I'm hearing in the tall grass nearby? Mama, come find me before I do die.
June 28th found Congress listening to Mr. Thompson, the congressional secretary. He was reading the Declaration as written by Jefferson, who was outside listening in the chamber. Franklin and Adams broke his concentration.
Yeah, this thing went back, and we've got Maryland. That is, we will as soon as the case gets to telling Maryland Assembly what we saw in New Brunswick.
He is in Annapolis right now, describing this ragtag collection of provincial militiamen who couldn't train together, they couldn't march together, they couldn't drill together. But when they saw a flock of ducks fly by, and it was their first meal in 3 days, sweet Jesus, could they shoot together? It was a slaughter.
They're reading the Declaration.
They're doing what? Well, there's nothing to fear. It's a masterpiece. I'm to be congratulated.
You?
Well, for making you write it, of course.
Oh, of course.
It's a masterpiece, I say. They will cheer every word, every letter.
I wish I felt that way.
I believe I can put it better. Now then attend, as friend to friend, our Declaration Committee. For us I see immortality in Philadelphia City. A farmer, a lawyer, and a sage. A bit gouty in the leg. You know, it's quite bizarre to think that here we are, playing midwives to an egg.
Egg? What egg?
To America, the birth of a new nation.
If we could only be certain what type of bird it was going to be.
Tom here has a good point. What kind of a bird should we choose to be the symbol of our new America?
The eagle.
The dove. The turkey.
The eagle.
The dove!
The eagle.
The eagle.
The turkey.
The eagle is a majestic bird.
The eagle is a thief and a scavenger and a coward, and the symbol of more than 10 centuries of European mischief.
And the turkey?
A truly noble fellow. A Native American, a source of sustenance to our early settlers. And a brave fellow who would not flinch from attacking an entire regiment of Englishmen single-handedly. Therefore, the symbol of our new America will be...
The eagle.
The eagle.
We're waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp of an eaglet being born. Waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator.
God knows the temperature's hot enough to hatch a stone, but what about an egg?
We're waiting for the scratch, scratch, scratch of that tiny little fellow. Waiting for the egg to hatch on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator. God knows the temperature's hot enough to hatch a stone.
But will it hatch an egg?
The Declaration will be a triumph. A triumph, I tell you. If I was ever sure of anything, I'm sure of that. A triumph. And if it isn't, we still have 4 days left to think of something else. The eagle's going to crack the shell of the egg that England laid.
Yes, so we can tell on this humid Monday morning in this congressional incubator.
And just as Tom here has written, though the shell may belong to Great Britain, the eagle inside belongs to us.
And just as Tom here has written, we say to hell with Great Britain, the eagle inside belongs to us.
And for the support of this declaration, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Very well, Mr. Thompson. The Congress has heard the report of the Declaration Committee. Are there any who would like to offer amendments, deletions, and/or changes to the declaration as written? Oh my, yes. There were objections from offense to the Scottish people to an oversight on divine providence, to calling the king a tyrant, and, of course, the omission of deep-sea fishing rights. But by far the most devastating objection was to the reference of slavery. And as a result, the Liberals suffered a major setback on July 1st.
Mr. Jefferson, I can't quite make out what it is you're talking about.
Slavery, Mr. Rutledge.
Ah, yes. You're referring to us as slaves of the king.
No, sir. I'm referring to our slaves. Black slaves.
Mr. Jefferson, to us in South Carolina, black slavery is our peculiar institution and a cherished way of life.
Nevertheless, we must abolish it. Nothing is more certainly written in the Book of Fate than that this people shall be free.
I am not concerned with the Book of Fate right now, sir. I am more concerned with what's written in your little paper over there.
That little paper over there deals with freedom for Americans.
Oh, really? Mr. Adams is now calling our black slaves Americans. Are they now?
They are. They're people and they're here. If there's any other requirement, I've never heard of it.
Oh, they are here, yes. But they are not people, sir. They are property.
No, sir. They are people being treated as property. I tell you, the rights of human nature are deeply wounded by this infamous practice.
Then you see to your own wounds, Mr. Jefferson, for you are a practitioner. Are you not?
I have already resolved to release my slaves.
And I'm sorry. For you have also resolved the ruination of your personal economy.
Economy. Always economy. There's more to this than a filthy purse string, Rutledge. It's an offense against man and God.
It's a stinking business, Mr. Rutledge. A stinking business.
Is it really? Well, what's that smell floating down from the north? Could it be the aroma of high hypocrisy? Who holds the other end of that filthy purse string, Mr. Adams? Our northern brethren are feeling a bit tender towards our slaves. They don't keep slaves, no. But they're willing to be considerable carriers of slaves. To others, they are willing for the shilling. Haven't you heard, Mr. Adams? Clink, clink. Molasses to rum to slaves. Oh, what a beautiful woods. You dance with us, and we dance with you in molasses and rum and slaves. Africa the slavers have come. New England with Bibles and rum. Then it's off with the rum and the Bibles. Take on the slaves, clink, clink. Then hail and farewell to the smell of the African coast. Molasses to rum, to slaves, 'tisn't gold, 'tis money that saves. Shall we dance to the sound of the profitable pound in molasses and rum and slaves? Sail the ships out of Guinea, laden with Bibles and slaves. 'Tis Boston can boast to the West Indies coast. Jamaica, we brung what you craves. Antigua, Barbados, we brung Bibles and slaves. Gentlemen, you mustn't think our northern friends really see our black slaves as figures on a ledger. Oh, no, sir. They see them as figures on the block. Notice the faces at the auctions, gentlemen. White faces on the African floor. New England faces. Seafaring faces. Put them in the ships. Cram them in the ships. Stuff them in the ships. Hurry, gentlemen. Let the auction begin. Gentlemen, do you hear? That's the cry of the auctioneer. Slaves, gentlemen, black gold, living gold, gold from Angola. Blackbirds for sale, Ashanti, Evo, 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 Evo. Blackbirds for sale, handle them, fondle them, but don't finger them. They're prime, they're prime.
For the love of God, Mr. Rutledge, please.
Glasses to rum to slaves. Sail the ships back to Boston, laden with gold, big whose fortunes are made in the triangle trade. Hail slavery, the New England dream. Mr. Adams, I give you a toast. Hail Boston, hail Charleston, who stinketh the most?
Except for Mr. Thompson, Congress adjourned, leaving an Adams, a Jefferson, and a Franklin all alone to ponder their next move. It was Franklin who broke their silence.
Well, that settles it, John. The slavery clause has got to go.
Franklin, what are you saying?
I'm saying it's a luxury we can't afford.
A luxury? 500,000 souls in chains, and Dr. Franklin calls it a luxury. Perhaps you should have walked out with the South.
You forget yourself, sir. I founded the first anti-slavery society on this continent.
Oh, don't wave your credentials at me. Perhaps it's time you renewed them.
The issue here is independence. Perhaps you have forgotten that, but I have not. How dare you jeopardize what we have come so far with? These men, no matter how much we disagree with them, are not ribbon clerks to be ordered about. They are proud, accomplished men, the cream of their colonies. And they and the people they represent are going to be a part of the country that you want to help form. Now you had better learn to live with them or pack up and go home. Oh, but in any case, John, stop acting like a Boston fishwife.
Once again retreating to solitude, John thought of Abigail and longed for her advice. As he proceeded in deep thought, the surprise arrival of 2 kegs of saltpeter from Braintree raised his hopes, and once again his spirit was riding high. He sent Franklin and Jefferson off to talk with James Wilson and John Dickinson, 2 rival conservatives against the idea of independency. Left alone with Mr. Thompson as the courier entered, John inquired about the loyalty of the secretary.
Tell me, Mr. Thompson, out of curiosity, do you stand with Mr. Dickinson, or do you stand with me?
I stand with the general. Lately, I've had the oddest feeling that he's been writing to me. I have been in expectation of receiving a reply on the subject of my last 15 dispatches. Is anybody there?
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. At 12:20,
Does anybody care?
answers. And also at 12:40 at the abroad stage, we have the Chinese answers. Please come and watch us. Thank you.
You're humble and obedient.
Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Does anybody see what I see? They want me to quit. They say, John, give up the fight. Still to England I say, good night, forever good night. For I have crossed the Rubicon. Let the bridge be burned behind me. Come what may, come what may. Commitment, but will say, the day they'll be hell to pay in fiery purgatory. Through all the gloom, I can see the rays of ravishing light and glory. Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Does anybody see what I see? I see fireworks. I see the pageants and pomp and parade. I hear the bells ring out. I hear the cannons roar. I see Americans, all Americans, free forevermore. Quiet the chamber is. How silent the chamber is. Is anybody there? Does anybody care? Does anybody see what I see?
Yes, they did see and did care. And now it was time to put that care to work. Congress was called for the final vote and reminded that a single nay vote would defeat Virginia's resolution on independence. The vote was unanimous in favor, until they came to South Carolina.